Hello everyone. In this lesson we're going to learn how to migrate or sort of copy over one WordPress website into a different WordPress website. Let's jump into the action and let me explain. So, in the previous video, yes, we already have our local dev environment with our totally finished, awesome fictional university website. However, we just set up a real live public domain. So, for example, I set up fictional.learnwebcode.com, and this is just a brand new empty WordPress installation. So in this lesson, I want to show you my favorite way of moving over everything. All of your themes, all of your plugins, all of your settings, all of your user accounts, all of the data in your MySQL database, your posts, your pages, all of your uploaded files, all your CSS, your JavaScript, I mean literally everything. So it's all going to start with one plugin that is amazing. Because personally, I don't want to have to manually move over MySQL database data and move over a bunch of files. So let me show you what we're going to do. On your local dev copy of our finished fictional university website, go into the admin dashboard and go to the plugins screen. Okay, we're going to add a new plugin. So this button right here, install or add a new plugin. And we're just going to search for a new plugin. Its name is, well, you can see my suggestions here, all-in-one migration. That is indeed the name. So if you search for all-in-one migration, you'll know that it's the right plugin because it should have over 5 million active installations, and as of today, it's by a company or author called ServeMask. But it's this one, all-in-one WP migration and backup. Let's go ahead and install that. Okay, and then don't forget to click the activate as well once the installation is finished. So we'll click activate. Okay, and then just go ahead and refresh your admin dashboard, or like I just click back onto the dashboard, and as soon as you do that, now down towards the bottom of your left-hand menu, you'll see this new option, all-in-one WP migration, and then in its submenu, we're interested in the export option. However, before we get to that, there are a few very important details that we need to take care of first. I'm not ready to bundle my data, and that's because, first of all, in this local dev environment copy, my admin username and password are super insecure. I mean, my username is admin and my password is admin, because I'm the only one in the world that can access this website. So I didn't really care about security. I just wanted something that was really easy to remember. But before we bundle this and use, because remember, we're also bundling up the database, like the MySQL database information. So once we export from this website and then import onto our live website, that will then be the new username and password for the admin account. So before we create that bundled export, let's go into the users menu on our local dev environment. And remember when I was setting up the My Notes feature, I tested having a guest account. It also didn't have a secure username and password. So you'd want to be sure to go in and edit that password. Or in my case, I'm just going to delete the guest account for now. I'll just delete all content associated with that user. And then I'll go into the admin user and just be sure to set a new password. So that way you don't get hacked in the first 30 minutes of uploading your website. Perfect. And then do be sure to keep in mind that now this username is what's going to be used on your live website. Remember in our previous lesson, it was like the randomly generated DreamHost admin name. Well, once we import this exported bundle file, this will be your live website's admin username. Cool, so click Update Profile, and now we just have one more detail before we create our bundled up export. Right now, if we did use the all-in-one and click Export, and then from this screen, you're going to click Export to File. I'm not going to click that yet because the bundled file would be probably around 1 gigabyte. And let me show you why. We need to delete all of our node modules files. Let me explain. So in local WP, if from your website, so mine's Fictional University, if you click on this option, go to Site folder, and then go into App, Public, Content, and then I want to draw your attention to our plugin and themes folder. Let's start with the plugins folder. So in this chapter, we created these two, Interactivity Quiz and Solved Counter. So if you go into Interactivity Quiz, this node modules folder is probably close to 1/4 of a gigabyte. So just delete it. And then once we create our backup, if you ever need to work on this plugin again, you could just run npm install to get all of those files back. Go into your solved counter and do the same thing, right? Delete the node modules. That's probably like 250 megabytes. Cool. Now you would want to do the same thing for all of your plugins before creating your bundled export file. And you would also want to do the same thing for all of your themes, right? So like fictional block theme, fictional university. Just go in and manually delete any and all of the node modules folders. Cool. With that done, now we're actually ready to try to create our bundled up file. So again, from the all-in-one WP migration menu in your left-hand menu, click on export, and then we're going to use this option, export to, and then we're going to choose the file option. Cool. So I'll fast forward through this in video editing, but it shouldn't take more than maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Perfect. So mine just finished. You can see it's 163 megabytes. So I'll click this link to download it. Cool. I'll just save it into my computer's downloads folder. Cool. So now you can click close, and we've created that bundled up single file. Just to run this by you, for some reason Google Chrome just marked that file. It says insecure download blocked. We don't want to block it, so I'm going to click this keep button. Cool. So now if you go into your computer's downloads folder, there you will see that brand new file. And what's cool is just this one singular file now contains all of our MySQL database, all of our uploaded photos, all of our themes and plugins and CSS and JavaScript and settings. I mean, this is awesome. So now all we need to do is go back to our live website. So for me, that's fictional.learnwebcode.com. And let's go into the admin dashboard, and we just need to install that same plugin. So go to the plugins area, click add new plugin, and just search for the exact same plugin. So it's called all-in-one migration. It's this one with 5+ million active installations. So let's click install. And once it finishes, then let's be sure to click activate. All right. Then as soon as you refresh, you'll see this all-in-one WP migration. This time on our live website, we don't want to export, we want to import. Cool. And then what option do we want? We want to import from a file. So we'll choose the file option and then select that file that we just created a minute ago in your downloads folder. Okay. And then depending on the speed of your internet connection, this could take, I'm not going to say a long time, but you never know. I mean, if you have fast internet, this will take maybe a minute or two. If you have slow internet, you might need to go on your lunch break. This might take an hour or two, but everyone's internet speed is different. So through the magic of video editing, I'll fast forward through this. All right, so after a few minutes, my upload finished. And now this screen is just warning you that this will completely, essentially erase or overwrite your existing live website. So, I mean, anything that was in your database, your themes or plugins, just absolutely do not do this unless the website that you're importing into is completely empty and you don't care about it. Do not do this on a website that you care about because you're essentially turning it into a carbon copy clone of the website that you're importing. So I'm okay with this. And then it's also warning me that the PHP versions don't match, so that could fail, but I'm very confident it's going to work. So I'll click proceed. Okay. And now this next process shouldn't take maybe more than a minute. In my case, it will take a bit longer than normal because in one of my lessons, I showed you how to have 10,000 or 100,000 fictional pets, right? And store their favorite color, their favorite food. So that's a lot of fake data that it's having to restore and set up in the database. So it won't normally take this long, but let's be patient. Okay, so that process completed for me, and now I see your site has been imported successfully. So let's click finish, and now as soon as you do that, you're logged out. So if I try to click dashboard, you're going to see that I'm logged out. Now here's why I'm logged out. This website no longer uses the password or username that DreamHost set up or that you set up in the previous lesson. It now uses the exact username and password from your local dev environment. That's why we wanted to be sure to change it from admin to something more secure. So in my case, my username is admin, but my password is a long, secure string. But go ahead and try to log in. Cool. And we're back in. Only now, if we visit the front end for our website, you can see it's fictional.learnwebcode.com. But we have our complete website. So I can click on About Us. I can go to the various subpages. I can click on Programs. I can click into Biology. I can click on Barks a Lot. I'm logged in, so I could give Barks a Lot a like or a heart. I could remove that heart. Let's try out the My Notes feature. Let me edit this. Add a few exclamations, save it. I mean, you get the idea. You can refresh to prove that that save persisted. You can go to the blog. You can check out our custom post types, or our custom blocks, the quiz. You can get these all correct. Cool. Anyways, you get the idea. This is live. Anyone in the world can visit fictional.learnwebcode.com. You don't need to use a subdomain. You could have, if I really wanted to, I could have set this up at learnwebcode.com. But the idea is now we have moved over our local dev environment to a live public, real website. This is awesome. However, our job is not done yet because there's one crucial component we need to think about. How can we efficiently and easily make ongoing updates to the files of this website? Like, I don't mean if you needed to edit the About Us page. You would just click Edit Page and use the WordPress admin dashboard, right? Simple enough. But I mean, what if we need to change the CSS files, the JavaScript files, the PHP files, or like our custom coded plugin files, like our actual developer programmer source code files, right? The year is not 2002, so we wouldn't want to use FTP. We also don't want to have to go into the DreamHost panel and use their web browser file upload tool. In the modern era of web development, we want to use Git, right? So that way, even if we're in VS Code, like editing one of our themes, CSS or JavaScript files, we can just pop into our command line, and it would be as simple as just saying like git push live master branch. Just push enter, and that's it. Like that one command would automatically push all of our CSS, JavaScript, PHP, our theme and plugin files, boom, up to our live website. It's a silky smooth workflow. It's the industry standard workflow. However, it's not always the most intuitive or obvious of how to get that set up on a really affordable shared hosting plan. The beautiful news, the good news though, is that DreamHost absolutely offers that feature, and we're about maybe 20 minutes of configuration away from having that ideal, perfect workflow ready to go. That's exactly what we're going to set up in our next lesson. So excited to jump into that with you. Let's keep our momentum rolling, and I'll see you then.